Welcome to the Mind Cuts series. Today on the Deep Dive, we're sitting down with the ideas of Dave Ramsey, the CEO of Ramsey Solutions.
Right.
We've pulled together his thoughts on some really fundamental questions. What does success truly look like, beyond just dollars and cents?
Mm-hmm.
How critical is a formal education in today's landscape? What are the absolute must-haves when it comes to building wealth and a strong business?
Yeah, the core stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how do you get back on your feet and build momentum after things go wrong? What are those sneaky mental roadblocks that trip us up on our financial journey?
And the belief systems too, right?
Yeah. And finally, how much do our own beliefs shape our financial realities? We're going to dig into these questions and try to extract some truly useful insights for you.
Exactly. Think of this as a shortcut, sort of to understanding some of the core principles behind building a successful life and a solid financial foundation, drawing from Ramsey's pretty extensive experience and, let's face it, his straightforward approach.
So let's start with the man himself. Dave Ramsey's story is, it's pretty remarkable.
It really is.
He hit millionaire status young, then lost it all to bankruptcy and had to rebuild everything. That experience, hitting rock bottom and climbing back, it really colors his entire philosophy.
Definitely. And Ramsey Solutions has become this huge platform. You've got the podcasts, the educational tools they offer, those best-selling books, a massive YouTube presence.
It's clear he's reaching a lot of people.
What's interesting is his style. He's often described as very direct, sometimes even a bit blunt,
Like that no-nonsense uncle figure.
Yeah, exactly, who tells you what you need to hear. Not always what you want to hear,
Yeah.
but it seems to come from a place of wanting to help.
Right.
And unlike maybe some in the financial world, he's very open about his principles. The focus isn't on secret strategies, but on fundamental truths he believes anyone can apply.
Okay, so one of the big ideas we encountered is around defining success, is being ruthless, necessary to get ahead.
Ah, that word.
Yeah. Now, when Ramsey uses that word, he's apparently not talking about being cutthroat or, unethical. For him, it's more about an intense passion, a real fire in your belly, and an unwavering enthusiasm for what you're trying to achieve. It's about being relentless, but in pursuit of your goals.
That raises a key point for you, the listener.
Yeah.
How do you define that intense drive without crossing ethical lines? Because Ramsey strongly believes in what he calls a positive sum mindset.
Positive sum, so not zero sum.
Exactly. Think of it this way. It's not a game where for one person to win, another has to lose. Instead, by helping others succeed and creating value for them, you ultimately create more opportunities and success for yourself too.
A rising tide lifts all ships sort of thing.
Precisely. He even has examples like his conscious decision not to badmouth competitors, even someone with a very different approach like Suze Arman.
That's interesting.
And incredibly, he's even hired people who were initially critical of his work.
Right.
That really shows a commitment to this principle. It's about building each other up, not tearing down.
That's a powerful example of putting that philosophy into practice. It really challenges that sort of dog-eat-dog idea of success. Now, let's pivot to a topic that's constantly being debated. The actual value of a formal education in today's world.
Oh, yeah, this is a hot one.
You definitely see a shift happening, don't you? With more people questioning whether that traditional four-year degree is the automatic path to success it was maybe once thought to be.
What's fascinating is Ramsey's very direct and, often humorous critique of higher education as it currently exists for many people.
Right.
He focuses on two major pain points. One, the staggering cost that leads to massive student loan debt, a burden that can, take decades to overcome.
Decades, yeah.
And two, whether the degree you're pursuing actually offers a real-world return on that investment.
Okay.
He uses some pretty colorful examples like left-handed puppetry or German PA history to highlight what he sees as degree fields that might not translate into marketable skills. Makes you think about that direct link between study and career.
Absolutely. But he's not saying all education is pointless, is he?
No, not at all. His emphasis is on being a smart consumer of education.
Okay, like getting value for money.
Exactly. He talks about getting a good buy, considering options like in-state public universities versus incredibly expensive private schools when the actual educational outcome might be pretty similar.
Makes sense.
And crucially, he stresses the importance of studying something practical, something that equips you with tangible skills that are in demand. Think accounting, statistics, computer science. It's about being strategic.
So investing your time and money wisely in education.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, Ramsey argues that while a degree can certainly provide valuable knowledge and skills, those statistics or accounting classes, right, it's not the ultimate predictor of long-term success. He makes a compelling point that what your first job is out of college is far less important than where you are 10 years down the road.
Okay, so what does make the difference then?
According to him, it's your personal drive, your resilience, your willingness to work hard, what he calls the secret sauce.
The secret sauce. I like that.
A degree can be a useful tool, absolutely, but it's the person wielding the tool that ultimately determines the outcome.
And to really underscore that, he points to an interesting statistic. A significant majority, what was it, like 76% of S&P 500 CEOs graduated from public high schools.
Wow, 76%.
Yeah. That definitely challenges the notion that an elite, expensive education is the only path to the top.
It really does.
His point is that in the real world, it's your effort and the results you deliver that earn respect and advancement, often more than just the name of the university on your diploma. So for you listening, it's worth considering. Are you focusing on acquiring skills and building that track record?
Building on that, we explored the different paths, working for someone else versus striking out on your own. Ramsey is a strong advocate for entrepreneurship, clearly.
Yeah, you can tell he's inspired by the entrepreneurial spirit he sees, especially in younger generations.
But what's interesting here is that while he champions starting your own venture, he's also realistic. He understands that being an entrepreneur isn't the right fit for everyone's personality or circumstances.
Right, it takes a certain type, maybe.
Perhaps. But he points out that you can absolutely embody an entrepreneurial spirit within an existing organization.
Oh, okay. So like being entrepreneurial.
Exactly. Bringing that same passion, innovation, and drive to contribute and grow without necessarily having to, build your own company from scratch. It's about your mindset and how you approach your work wherever you are.
That's a good point.
It's also worth noting his observations about the unique financial perspective of younger generations. He sees a real seriousness in Gen Z, a focus on building wealth early.
Compared to?
Well, he contrasts it with what he perceives as the boomer generation's greater emphasis on maybe immediate material possessions and, outward displays of wealth. Flash versus foundation, maybe.
Interesting observation.
It
suggests a potential shift in generational priorities.
Yeah, definitely something to watch.
So what are those non-negotiable traits that Ramsey believes are crucial for achieving success, however you define it? He seems to boil it down to a few core principles. The first, and maybe the most surprising to some, is the importance of serving others, being genuinely focused on how you can help and add value to other people's lives, rather than being solely self-centered.
That feels different from the usual get-ahead advice sometimes.
It does, right. But he argues that not only does this bring greater personal fulfillment, but the marketplace also tends to reward those who are focused on meeting the needs of others. Financial success, in this view, becomes almost a natural byproduct.
Like his analogy of the waiter?
Yeah, the waiter providing exceptional service and earning a significant tip the profit is like the certificates of appreciation with presidents' faces.
So that's a good one. But it gets to the heart of sustainable success, doesn't it? It's not just transactions. It's building real value and connection.
Exactly. When your primary focus is serving your customers or clients well, you're just much more likely to build loyalty and a thriving enterprise.
Makes sense. What's the next trait?
The second key trait is a relentless work ethic combined with grit and perseverance.
Ah, the hard work part.
Yep. He has that memorable line. I had one guy come in here. He said, "I'm burned out." And I said, "Dude, that's impossible. You were never on fire."
Ouch.
Direct. Very. He's a firm believer in that fundamental principle that you reap what you sow. It's about consistently putting in the effort and pushing through challenges, even when you don't feel motivated. It's about action leading to results.
This really underscores the critical role of resilience then, because setbacks are inevitable, right? In business, in life.
Totally.
It's that ability to keep going, to learn from those experiences, and to just not give up that ultimately determines your level of success.
And the third trait.
Finally, Ramsey emphasizes the power of vision and clearly defined goals.
So not just wishful thinking.
Definitely not. It's not enough to just vaguely hope for success. You need a compelling vision for where you want to go, and then crucially, you need to break that big vision down into smaller, manageable, short-term goals and daily tasks.
Like vision with work clothes on.
That's the phrase. It's about having a clear direction and then putting in the practical everyday work to get there, step by step.
That provides a crucial framework, doesn't it? for turning aspirations into actual, tangible realities, setting milestones, tracking progress.
Exactly. It builds momentum and keeps you focused.
Speaking of momentum, Ramsey's own experience with bankruptcy offers a really powerful illustration of how to rebuild it after hitting rock bottom.
Yeah, he's very open about that.
He talks about the intense emotional toll it took, the fear, the uncertainty, that feeling of complete failure. He vividly remembers the hardship, like having water and electricity cut off.
Wow, that's tough. What's insightful is his honesty about the emotional roller coaster during that rebuilding period.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a straight lineup. There were definitely moments of deep despair, followed by small victories and renewed hope. He even shares how his faith played a big role in giving him strength and perspective during those really dark times.
So it's not just practical steps, but emotional management too.
Absolutely. It highlights that overcoming major setbacks isn't just about what you do, it's also about managing your emotional state and finding sources of hope.
But the crucial takeaway seems to be the absolute necessity of taking that next step, no matter how small, and refusing to stay stuck.
Right. He has that powerful phrase, sitting is not an option. He found that taking action, even when he felt completely overwhelmed, was the best way to combat the anxiety and start moving forward again. He talks about this momentum theorem.
The theorem.
Yeah, basically, focused intensity over time, multiplied by, well, he credits faith or God, can lead to unstoppable momentum.
Interesting formula.
He also makes a great point about understanding the nature of momentum. When you're in a negative spiral, you're often stronger than you feel. And when things are going really well, it's important to stay humble. Don't overestimate yourself.
That's a really valuable perspective for navigating both the ups and the downs.
For sure. Recognizing the power of momentum can help you persevere when things are tough and stay grounded when they're going well.
He has that analogy too about skiing.
Oh, yes, skiing a steep slope. You gotta go or the fear is gonna take me over.
Right. It captures that idea that sometimes you just have to take action, even when you're scared.
And he cautions against getting stuck in paralysis by analysis.
Oh, definitely. Just endless thinking, no doing.
Exactly. He emphasizes the importance of just getting started and taking concrete steps.
We also dug into some of the common pitfalls, the traps people fall into when trying to build wealth in a successful business.
Okay, what did he highlight there?
One of the most passionate points he makes is his frustration with what he perceives as an anti-success movement. Yeah. He's concerned about a tendency in some parts of society to negatively portray wealthy and successful individuals, often overlooking the fact that, in his view, many of these people achieve their success by creating value for others and serving a large number of people.
So it brings up that whole societal discussion about how we view wealth and achievement.
Right. And Ramsey expresses strong disagreement with the eat the rich mentality and the idea that everyone should have equal wealth regardless of effort or contribution.
Where does he think that comes from?
He suggests maybe certain ideological viewpoints, even mentioning communist college professors at one point.
Okay.
But his core point is emphasizing what he sees as the fundamental unfairness of expecting the same outcomes for vastly different levels of effort. He also touches on the tall poppy syndrome.
Cutting down those who stand out.
Yeah, and the dangers of a sense of entitlement.
So his focus is really on
personal responsibility.
Yeah.
He really stresses taking ownership of your financial situation rather than constantly looking for external factors to blame the banks, the IRS, the economy, whatever.
It comes back to controlling the controllables.
Exactly. That's a crucial principle for anyone striving for financial well-being. While external conditions matter, ultimately your own choices, actions, and mindset have the most significant impact.
Makes sense. Did he offer any frameworks for building a business?
He did. He's developed this framework for thinking about building a business you love, which he calls the 5 stages of small business.
5 stages, okay.
He believes this provides a clear roadmap, something that can give entrepreneurs hope and encourage them to take action. The stages are treadmill operator.
Which is like the solopreneur.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting but exhausting. Then pathfinder, where you have a small team but maybe lack clear direction.
Sounds chaotic.
Can be. Then trailblazer, where you feel like you're making progress but lack robust systems. Peak performers, when the business is running smoothly. A well-oiled machine.
Sounds like the goal.
It is, but then there's legacy, which is about building something that lasts for generations. Succession planning.
What's useful about this framework?
Well, he outlines the specific challenges and necessary steps for growth at each stage.
Ah, okay. Like what?
For example, the solopreneur on the treadmill needs to focus on time management and hiring their first employees. The Pathfinder needs to nail down mission, vision, roles, KPIs.
Got it.
The Trailblazer needs to implement standardized systems and processes. The Peak Performer needs to guard against complacency, keep innovating. He calls it shocking the monkey.
Shocking the monkey, yeah.
Yeah. And the legacy stage requires that careful, often long-term succession planning. It gives you a sense of what to focus on as your business evolves.
That seems really practical.
And across all these stages, one thing Ramsey emphasizes as absolutely critical is finding and hiring the right people.
Oh, the people part. Always key.
He says it's consistently the biggest challenge for small business owners. His approach: prioritize finding people who align with your core values and who are genuinely enthusiastic about your mission, even over raw talent alone.
Values and enthusiasm over just skills.
Yeah. He uses the term crusaders to describe these ideal employees, people who are passionate about what you're trying to achieve.
Crusaders. I like that. It highlights the importance of company culture then.
Definitely. He warns about the negative impact that even one or two misaligned or, frankly, crazy employees, as he might put it, can have on the entire team and productivity.
Yeah, one bad apple.
Exactly. He stresses hiring people who are already motivated rather than trying to force motivation onto them. He also acknowledges the challenges of building culture in remote teams.
Which is so relevant now.
Totally. And he emphasizes the value of in-person collaboration for fostering trust and healthy communication, even healthy conflict.
That point about money problems being symptomatic is interesting too.
Oh yeah, that's a really important truth he points out. Money problems are often a symptom of deeper underlying issues. He quotes Larry Burkett, saying, "Money problems are not the problem, they're the symptom."
So what are the root causes then?
Could be lots of things. Greed, a lack of maturity, issues with self-image, addictions, problems in relationships, like using money for revenge or financial infidelity, even dysfunctional family origins.
Wow, it goes deep.
It really does. He believes the enduring popularity of his advice comes from addressing these fundamental life issues, not just the surface-level financial questions like personal growth masquerading as a way to make wealth.
That's a great way to put it. Personal growth masquerading as wealth building.
Yeah. So given that many people intellectually understand what they should do with their money, why is it so damn hard to actually change financial behavior?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Literally. Ramsey believes lasting change happens when people deeply believe that a particular strategy will genuinely work for them.
Belief is key.
He uses the example of the debt snowball method, paying off debt's smallest balance to largest, regardless of the interest rate.
Right. Mathematically, not always optimal.
Exactly. But psychologically,
Yeah.
it provides those early wins, that sense of control, which can be incredibly motivating and help people actually stick with the plan. It's about the psychological power of hope and belief in the process.
That really underscores the importance of the psychological side of personal finance. It's not just numbers.
Not at all. It's motivation, building momentum, creating a sense of agency. Like John Deloney says, choose your heart.
Choose your heart.
Yeah, sticking with a challenging financial plan is hard, but the consequences of not doing it are often way harder.
That's a powerful framing. We also touched on why some people seem to sabotage their own financial success once they achieve it.
Right, self-sabotage. Why does that happen?
Ramsey suggests it can often stem from a deep-seated belief that wealth is somehow morally wrong, creating this internal conflict, this cognitive dissonance.
So you succeed but feel guilty about it.
Kind of. Feelings of unworthiness can also play a huge role. He uses that analogy of a turtle on a fence post. Meaning you probably didn't get there entirely on your own. Recognize the help you received. Stay humble. It combats that feeling of maybe not deserving it, or the flip side, becoming arrogant.
That highlights the importance of aligning your core beliefs with your financial goals. If you subconsciously think wealth is bad,
It can create internal resistance that just undermines your efforts.
Finally, we discussed how social media can distort our understanding of what success looks like.
Oh yeah, the comparison trap.
Totally. Ramsey sees the amplified affluenza, that feeling of dissatisfaction, always wanting more, fueled by the often carefully curated highlight reels we see on platforms like Instagram. He sees it as a significant problem.
Because it creates unrealistic expectations and leads to flawed social comparisons, right?
Exactly. You see these polished versions of life and compare your messy reality to their highlight reel. It's a recipe for feeling inadequate.
Yeah, that pressure to have certain things by a certain age. It's intense.
And regarding the ongoing discussion about the cost of living crisis, How does he frame that?
He sees it as likely being a combination of both increased spending needs and potentially stagnant or insufficient income. But he emphasizes the importance of viewing your financial life as an ongoing film strip, not just a single snapshot in time.
Okay, so think long term.
Right. People's careers and earning potential typically evolve over time. He believes that personal initiative and effort, working hard, getting skilled up can play a significant role in outpacing economic challenges.
So it offers a more dynamic and, frankly, empowering perspective.
Yeah, it reminds you that your current situation isn't necessarily fixed. Your own actions, developing skills, seeking better opportunities, managing spending wisely can significantly influence your future financial outcomes.
Today's deep dive into the ideas of Dave Ramsey has really provided a lot to think about, hasn't it? Regarding building success and navigating the complexities of our financial lives.
Absolutely. From understanding the power of serving others and cultivating that unwavering grit,
to recognizing those psychological barriers that can hold us back, Ramsey's insights, they definitely offer a challenge to conventional wisdom sometimes.
they really underscore the impact of personal responsibility and maintaining that long-term perspective.
Yeah, we've explored the vital role of your mindset, a more nuanced understanding of the value of education, those different stages involved in building a business.
And the absolute necessity of building a strong and aligned team. His own experiences, both the highs and the lows, offer really valuable lessons, I think, for anyone striving to create a life filled with purpose and financial well-being.
Definitely.
So as you reflect on our discussion today, maybe consider these questions. What does success truly mean to you? Are you actively cultivating sustainable habits and a strong work ethic in your own life?
And how might you apply those principles of the momentum theorem to overcome any challenges you're currently facing? Where can you take that next step?
Right. This deep dive is really just the beginning of your own exploration, isn't it? For sure.
Yeah.
We encourage you to continue thinking about these ideas, maybe even explore some of Ramsey's resources directly if they resonated. What really hit home for you today? What questions are still lingering?
Keep that curiosity alive. Continue the conversation within yourself. This journey of learning and growth it's a continuous one.
And we're here to explore it with you.